Welcome back to another video. Today I'm discussing a debate between Toji and Sakamoto and why this debate is not even close. Now, this discussion has been talked about, at least in the circles I've been in, and of course the friends I've talked to, where they can respectively have an argument between Sakamoto and Toji, even though it's not close. As we know, Toji has the heavenly restriction body, and of course Sakamoto has an underlying gag of him getting skinny incredibly. Of course, we don't have prime Sakamoto feats, but we know that he was an incredibly dangerous and deadly assassin. Now, there are people ranked over Sakamoto in his verse with Taro Nakamura and I think one other person, or two other people in the order respectively. And of course, Nagamo being his kind of equal slash rival when he was in the order. But besides that, Toji having a heavily restricted body and Taro Sakamoto, granted those characters have insane feats, Sakamoto is still going up against humans. Now, incredible superhumans that have incredible feats and what they can do with their weapons of mass destruction, and against anybody. I mean, Taro Nakamura was able to slash through a building, but we know nobody stood a chance against that old man. Now, of course, that is manga spoilers, so sorry. While Toji, he was putting packs in Geto, he put packs in Gojo to a certain degree. He was a danger to every sorcerer walking. Now, an awakened Gojo who understood and, mostly had everything going for him, defeated Toji off the charts. But Toji was still incredibly fast, incredibly able to keep up with pre-awakened Gojo, Geto, and probably mostly everyone within the verse. You see how he dragged Dagoon, that red special grade, so making him easily a special grade level, even though it was one of the weaker special grades. So we know he was incredibly dangerous, incredibly skilled with the weapon, and incredibly skilled with the Glock. So when with Sakamoto facing incredible humans, he's not the top of his verse. Now, of course, everyone's going to go refer, or at least people I know, refer back to the statement that he was the most deadly and most efficient assassin. But that is what that means. He was the most efficient and deadly assassin. Nothing held him back. He probably used whatever methods and whatever ways to get his target, to get the most efficient kills, the most effective kills. He had the highest kill death ratio by means of his own methods in his prime. We know that. We also know that the rules that is placed upon him with his wife does hold him back now, and of course he's been out of work, or at least out of his job, for a very significant time, so he knows. So we know that Sakamoto is not in his prime, but even in his prime, he was not stronger than Nakamura. And Toji versus Nakamura is not close. Toji would whoop the absolute brakes off of everyone in that verse. Now, would he solo the verse at the same time? No, just because they do have inhuman feats, inhuman speed, and inhuman strength. It's just that since Toji has a versatile way of weapons and versatile way of speed, versatile way of strength, that mostly equals a special grade and multiple grade ones, if not special grade sorcerers at the most, he's beating the brakes off of Sakamoto's. Now, if you put Sakamoto in Jujutsu Kaisen, does he does the same as Toji with a heavenly restricted body and how effective he is? No, he doesn't, because the Toji, of course, had that little slime curse that held all his weapons, and that can keep him up with the other special grades, or if not grade 1 sorcerers. So he had the Zenins, even though manga spoilers, even though Maki eventually took them all out, he had the Zenins scared. He could have taken, if not killed, all of the Zenins. If not, his kid was being taken care of by the Zenins. So we know for a fact that Toji had that kind of capability, had that kind of power, and unfortunately met his untimely end by Gojo. I'm not gonna say unfortunately, he was moving devious. But it was all for a buck. Anyway, you can like, subscribe. I don't think it is necessarily close. Toji has faced inhuman people, inhuman curses that would greatly outscale Sakamoto's verse quite easily. So, like, subscribe. I just don't think it's close. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. and I'll see you in the next one.